So every time I wear my hair straight, I get so many questions from you guys, and I thought I would sit down and do a kind of collective Q&A about wearing my hair straight, because obviously my hair is naturally very curly. So I'm going to start with the Instagram pictures that you guys sent me, and I've got them all open here. The first question is, as your hair is naturally so curly, how do you get it so sleek when it's straight? It looks incredible. Also, do you use any products which promote hair growth as it's so long and healthy? First of all, thank you, that's really sweet. But so how do I get it so sleek? The key I find with straightening my hair is what straighteners you use. I swear by the Cloud 9 thick straighteners. So these are the wide ones, and as you can see, they're kind of a little bit wider than your average straightener, because these really leave a very shiny finish on the hair. And I used to always swear by the GHDs, but I feel like these leave a much prettier finish on the hair, and I actually prefer these a lot. And what I do is I will wash my hair, then dry it with a hairdryer, and I don't scrunch it. I dry it so I look like a crazy frizzy 80s rock star, and then start to straighten it. And I think that's a mistake that maybe a lot of people make, is trying to straighten it when it's already curly. That doesn't work as well for me. So that's what I use. And I don't use any hair products that kind of promote hair growth. I think my hair is just naturally quite healthy, and it does grow quite quickly as well, so I can't comment on anything like that. The next thing is, I have very curly hair, and my hair looks much thicker when it's curly, but when it's straight it's just so flat. Do you do anything to your hair when it's straight to make it have that added volume, because it always looks a really nice shape? I know what you mean. When you can straighten it, you can kind of feel like it looks a bit of a weird shape. What I always do is I always straighten it kind of going under. So if you kind of straighten it like that, you're creating a little bit of a nice flick, and that's the key. You either want to flick it outwards or flick it downwards. I think downwards makes it look more voluminous, but if you just kind of leave it and just do it straight, then it just kind of hangs there. And I like to kind of use thickening products, and I always dry it upside down as well when I'm drying it, to give it a bit of added volume, because I love hair to have volume. And I'll use something like I've only used this once, so I can't totally comment on it, but this is the Fudge Mega Hair Milk. I used this when I washed my hair yesterday, and I do feel like it's added a lot of volume. And then what I'll go ahead and do is usually just curl the ends. Now my hair cannot hold a curl to save its life. It just can't. Like I can curl the bottoms, it looks really lovely, and then it drops in 3 seconds. It's because it's so long. I mean, if I kind of stand up and show you, that's the length of it. It's long and it's thick, and there's a lot of it, and it just can't hold a curl no matter how much hairspray I put on. But this is the Babyliss. I can't remember the exact name of it, I'll try and put it down below, but a wide kind of curling barrel. And what I'll do is kind of curl the bottom, so you get that kind of nice flicky shape at the bottom, and I think that's much more flattering and adds a lot more volume than just having it poker straight. So that's the reply to that question. Then the next one is, how long does it take you to do your hair, and if it's only around half an hour, what straighteners are you using? I have very thick mid-length hair, and it takes me hours to straighten it. What technique do you use? Thanks. So as I said, I use the Cloud 9 thick straighteners, the wide ones, and it takes me 15 minutes to straighten my hair. It's uber quick. I have done a tutorial before how I straighten it, so I'll try and link that down below, where I kind of show you step by step. But like I said, yes, I do it. Takes me 15 minutes. Like yesterday, it was dry, and I started straightening it at 12:30. I needed to be out by 1, and by sort of 22, 1:45, it was pretty much done. I'm very quick, but those straighteners do make your life really easy. And as I said, the technique I use is I like to kind of curl it downwards, so it creates a bit more of a shape to your face. Then the next question is, how do you get it from going frizzy after you straighten it? This is a difficult question to answer, because my hair just doesn't go frizzy after I've straightened it. It's not something that I've ever really consciously thought about, but as I said, I think it helps to kind of get it as straight as you can while you're drying it before you go and straighten it. And I also like to use an oil when it's wet, and I use the Elvive Extraordinary Oil, just a couple of pumps of this, and I feel like that helps to tame a little bit of the frizz. Then we have what products do you use when you straighten it to make sure it doesn't get damaged, or even in your daily routine to keep it in good shape? So I always use a heat protector. My favourite one at the moment is the TGS Factor Flat Iron Shine Spray. This smells amazing and it just helps to protect your hair. So I'll spray this all over, and what I'll do is I'll straighten it kind of to a point where I straighten it once, and then I'll just go over maybe the ends over the next couple of days, and I can make my hair last a good 4 days where it looks nice when I have it straight. So today, I washed it yesterday in the morning. I could stretch it out to 4 days. Usually about day 3 I need to wash it, but it doesn't really get greasy, and I stop it from getting damaged by using heat protector, and I use a lot of oils and that kind of thing on it, but it still damages. You know, heat is not good for your hair. Everybody knows this. Then we have when I straighten my naturally curly hair, my ends often look very dry. Any tips? That's a really great question. So as I said, using an oil is absolute key. Then I also like to, like I said, straighten them kind of inwards. I feel like that creates more of a blow dried effect rather than that kind of frazzled straightened effect. And last but not least is keep topping up on oil as well. So before I go to bed, when I'm wearing it straight, I'll brush it and then just pop a little bit of oil on the ends, and you can see like my ends don't really look very dry at all. They kind of look quite healthy. So I feel like using an oil really helps with that. And then the last Instagram photo is how do you stop it from going greasy? I find it goes much greasier when I straighten it versus when I leave it curly. I find this as well. What I like to do is sometimes I'll use a dry shampoo, but usually I prefer this, and this is the VO5 Give Me Texture Dry Texturizing Spray. I love using this in general because it really adds a lot of oomph and a lot of body. And I'll just spray this kind of into the roots and zhuzh that up, but by about day 3 it needs to be washed and it looks a bit miserable, but if you spray a little bit of this into the roots, it should generally work out fine. And just keep topping up on dry shampoo, and don't use anything that's too kind of heavy and weighs down your hair. And if you do, just keep it kind of mid-length downwards. Then on Facebook, let me reply to a couple of those questions too. So, what do we have here? Okay, so someone asked, what heat protector and serum are you using? So as I said, the heat protector I'm using is the TG one, and I don't use a serum, I use an oil, and this is a really great option. I know I haven't mentioned this like a million times now, but if you want to use a serum, then I don't know, see something kind of, I prefer serums when I'm wearing it curly. I prefer an oil when I wear it straight, so I can't really comment on that because, like I said, I don't really like using a serum for that. And then the last question is, how long does your hair stay straight? So my hair stays straight for about, like I said, 4 days. I need to kind of top up. For some reason, these parts here always go really curly, but I need to top up those and kind of just little bits around the ends. But generally speaking, I can make it last a good 3 days. And then I'm going to just answer a couple of questions that kind of people hadn't asked that I think may be of interest to some of you. I don't necessarily use the same shampoos and conditioners. I'll kind of just use something that's aimed at adding volume and that kind of thing when I'm wearing it straight. I feel like that just works a lot better. And in terms of what I do when I have a shower, I'll just kind of chuck it up in a clip. Clips are key here. Rather than using a hair scrunchie or like, you know, a little anything like that, a clip just kind of keeps everything straight. So I'll just twist it and put it in a clip, and then I can kind of avoid getting it wet. I don't use a shower cap or anything like that, but things like that work really well. And then also, if I ever want to when I go to bed, I don't ever do anything to it, so I don't ever plait it or anything like that because it does create kinks. I just sleep with it down the same way I do when I wear it curly, just kind of propped up on the top of the pillow. That works really well for me, and that is it. So if you've got any other questions, leave them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you and reply to those. But I hope you found this video helpful and interesting, and I will see you all in my next one.